Chair, we're now live on YouTube.
Thank you, Chris. Good morning, everybody. Please put your microphones on mute when you're not speaking, and use your electronic hand or wave your hand when you want to speak. Could we do a roll call?
Councillor Bullivant.
Yep.
Councillor Connett.
I'm here.
Councillor Evans.
Yes, I'm here.
Councillor Nuttall.
Present.
Councillor Peart.
Present.
And Councillor Linda Petherick.
Present. Thank you, Beth. Any apologies?
No apologies today, Chair.
Thank you. To approve and sign the minutes of the meetings held on the 2nd of October and the 9th of November 2020. If we go first to the minutes of 2nd of October, has anybody got any matters arising from these minutes? Can I propose these minutes through the chair? Have I got a seconder? Thank you. Carry on to the minutes of...
Chair, sorry.
Sorry.
Can I just check everyone was in
Take a vote.
agreement? Yes, please.
Sorry. Can we take a vote on that then?
Councillor Bullivant.
For.
Councillor Connett.
For.
Councillor Evans.
4.
Councillor Nuttall.
For.
Councillor Peart.
For.
And Councillor Linda Petherick.
4.
Unanimous, Chair.
Thank you. Moving to the minutes of the 9th of November 2020. Any matters arising from these?
Chairman, yes, I may. With regard to the minutes in relation to 25, and the reference to the finding of facts, it says in resolve, finding of facts as set in its decision notice. As we know, Councillor Eden has written to the Council concerned that the decision notice does not reflect the findings of the investigator. May I just have a view from the monitoring officer or the deputy monitoring officer that the minutes as they are set out are correct? Is there anything that members need to be aware of? I'm just seeking some guidance because I know we're being asked to approve the minutes, and I know obviously there is a particular interest in the way things appear to be worded.
Thank you, Councillor Connett. Monitoring officer?
Madam, I obviously can't answer that because I wasn't at the meeting. The members of the committee are the ones to obviously confirm the accuracy of the minutes. I understand the decision letter reflects the discussions obviously in part 2. So again, it's only the committee who can actually confirm that. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Chairman. I did appreciate that the monitoring officer wasn't at the meeting, but the deputy monitoring officer was, and maybe it would be appropriate just to hear from the deputy because he was obviously there for the duration of the meeting. I think it might be useful just to have that clarity that I'm seeking. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Connett. Deputy monitoring officer.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate where Councillor Connett's coming from. We've heard what the monitoring officer has said, and there's little much that I could add to that. As everybody's aware, at this meeting, I was the person in the chair at the time. I have no reason to believe that those minutes are not an accurate reflection, but that's on the back of what you've already heard from the monitoring officer.
Councillor Connett. Sorry. Carry on, Paul.
Sorry, what I was going to say, sorry, Chair, was which would be my position in any event.
Thank you. Councillor Connett.
Oh, well, I'm grateful to the deputy monitoring officer who was at that meeting on the 9th of November for his guidance, Chairman. Obviously, an issue has been raised, and I thought before the members of this committee consider whether they wish to approve the minutes, it might be just useful to take a moment to have some guidance on that. And I'm grateful to the deputy monitoring officer for his view. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So through the chair, shall I propose that we accept these minutes? Can I have a seconder? Councillor Boulevant?
Yeah, sorry, before we go to the vote, I notice in the minutes it says that a copy of the decision notice is attached to the minutes. I can't see that decision notice attached to the, or the copy of the letter, I should say, attached to the minutes. Should a copy of the letter be attached to the minutes?
I think because it's already on the website and we'd already approved it, that's probably why there's no copy of the minutes of the decision notice attached.
I
But
see.
we can make sure that a copy gets attached to these minutes.
Thank you. That would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
In that case, I'll second the minutes.
Thank you, Councillor Boulevant. Shall we go to the vote?
Councillor Bullivant,
4,
Councillor Connett,
4,
Councillor Evans,
4,
Councillor Nuttall,
Yes, 4.
Councillor Peart,
4.
and Councillor Linda Petherick.
Or
That's unanimous, Chair.
thank you. The item number 4, the new LGA Model Code of Conduct. I've read it through. First of all, to the monitoring officer, are there any changes that we need to? Are there any substantial changes that we need to note?
No, I mean, that's the Local Government Association's model code. All 4 group leaders were asked for their comments prior to Christmas. I've had nothing back from Newton Says No group or the independent group. Obviously, the Conservative and the Liberal Democrat leaders are here today so they can give you your comments. And that's the position, Madam. There's not material changes actually between the old code and the new code. Same sort of issues arise: respect, declaring interest, not participating when you have an interest, not using the council to obviously promote your own personal interests, respect. They're all matters consistent with our current code, and it's hard to see why you wouldn't adopt the new code, Madam.
Thank you. Do any councillors want to speak to this? Councillor Boulevant?
Yeah, I think adopting this set of in codes is absolutely the right thing for us to do. My major concern is obviously I call it the abuse of the system that we've seen over the last 2 years. And do we have within this adequate means of addressing what has become completely unacceptable abuse by certain councillors towards officers and other councillors alike? That's the only real concern that I have.
Thank you, Councillor Boulevant. Monitoring officer, do you want to pass comment?
I mean, clearly, adopting a code in itself, this would be a recommendation, by the way, to full council. Clearly, adopting a new code is not going to in itself improve or promote or maintain high standards of conduct. The lack of sanctions to effectively suspend members doesn't help, but the government's still looking at that. And as I say, it's hard to see why you wouldn't want to follow the national line or recommended line from the Local Government Association by adopting or recommending adoption of this code.
Thank you for that. Can I just ask a question? You say the government are looking at this. So this increasing the sanctions can't be looked at by the LGA? It has to come from the government, is that right?
It would require a change in the law.
Right.
And clearly the LGA is only promoting a model code. It's not a requirement legally for you to adopt it. And as I say, changes in sanctions would require a change in legislation. There's other things I think the government are concentrating on at the moment.
Thank you. Any other councillors want to pass? Oh, Councillor Evans. Sorry. I did
Sorry.
see your hand up, sorry.
Sorry, okay. I've no issues with it as it stands and adopting it. Can I be very pedantic? The front page, the Local Government Association Model Code of Conduct, line 3, can we have behaviours spelt with a U in it so it's not an Americanisation of the word behaviours?
Thank you, Councillor Evans. Is that okay, Monitoring Officer? Councillor Connett.
Thank you, Chairman. the monitoring officer wrote to all the group leaders, I think it might have been in late December and possibly early January, asking them for the views of their groups by the end of January, I recall it was. Obviously interesting to hear what monitoring officer says about the replies that haven't been received. But for the Lib Dem group, I replied in good time within the timescale, and the Liberal Democrat view was to adopt the LGA Code of Conduct as recommended. I think it's useful to just recap on why there are only, if you like, light touch sanctions. Previously, when the Standards Board for England existed, it could disqualify councillors, and with that came an appeals process. Eric Pickles, when he was Secretary of State, abolished the Standards Board for England, and a new lighter touch system came in. And because the sanctions are relatively modest, there is no right of appeal, Chairman. Obviously, people are taking a view. I know that there are various comments from groups that representing democratic services officers or monitoring officers and the LGA. You know, this is, as the monitoring officer says, is in the mix, and no doubt government will review that at some point in the future. To my mind, Chairman, I think it'd be wise for the council to adopt to the LGA model code and hopefully move forward with that, Chairman. But we identified earlier, and I did respond to the monitoring officer, but I'm not sure she clarified that when she spoke to the committee. I may have missed that. Thank you.
Thank you. Monitoring officer?
Yeah, well, I did say when I introduced it with regards to the consultation, I hadn't had any responses back from Newton Says No, the independent group. In terms of the Conservative group, my understanding from conversations with Councillor Bullivant that they're very supportive of any recommendations from the Local Government Association. So that's their feedback, as I understand.
Thank you.
That's correct.
Thank you. If there's no more questions, would someone like to propose it? Councillor Bullivant, have we got a seconder?
Councillor Peart.
Okay.
Councillor Peart.
Thank you, Councillor Peart. Can we take a vote on that then, please?
Councillor Bullivant.
For.
Councillor Connett.
For.
Councillor Evans.
For.
Councillor Nuttall.
For.
Councillor Peart.
For.
Councillor Linda Petherick.
For.
That's unanimous, Chair.
Thank you. Just before we go, I actually want to say something which I hope is appropriate in this committee. Over the last 12 months, I've witnessed some of our officers being maligned publicly and their integrity being challenged. I consider this to be very unfair, as the officers have no right of reply in a public forum. Our officers work very hard for members, and this year, because of the pandemic, it has been even harder and even more stressful. We as members should be supporting our officers to enable them to do their jobs effectively. And I hope that you will all agree with me on that. Thank you. So that's the end of the meeting then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Bye.